So every once in a while, I happen to hear a feel good story, the kind of story that restores faith in humanity. Honestly, because we hear so many other stories going the other way. Isn't it a refreshing break to hear something good? Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jan. Welcome to another episode on my channel, the Save Money and More with Jan channel. How you doing today? Hope this audio video, as always, finds everybody doing well. Well, this morning I woke up to hear a really cute, sweet, feel good story. But first, I want to talk about focus. This is a transitional time of the year. People going back to school, families maybe experiencing empty nest syndrome when their oldest or youngest goes off to college, for example, and all of a sudden that opens up a new chapter. But I always consider the beginning of the academic year, okay, as sort of like its own weird kind of New Year's. We have, like, in my mind's eye anyway, we have two kinds of New Year's. We have the academic New Year, the new school year, for example. Then, of course, we have the calendar New Year in a few months, okay? And before you know it, believe it or not, in a blink of an eyelash, these months go fast, especially once we hit, as I call, the Burr months. The Burr months, BER, September, October, November, December. You see where I'm going with that. And those months, in my honest, really, really tend to fly. All right, but let's talk about the word focus because I think we should tune in and focus. And then I'll get to that feel good story after that. Focus, starting with the letter F. Let's focus, taking letter F from the word focus, on our family. This is a time of the year, okay, like let's get a little more serious about things. We had our summer fun and frivolity, but now we have to focus on our studies, maybe focus on decluttering, for example, if that's something that annoys you, straightening out our budgets before we are hit with the holiday season, or start planning wisely for the holiday season. If you understand what I mean by that, go back to yesterday's audio show where I get into specifics about how much money people spend per person on the holidays. So let's zoom in and focus. This is a good time of the year to, let's just like settle down a minute, take a breath, and take a minute and focus at this beginning of this academic year. All right. Pre autumn type thing. All right. Next, for the word focus, letter O. Find obvious ways to fill a need. Sometimes, I don't know what it is. Some people seem to need an invitation written in gold on stationery, okay, for them to figure out that maybe the person they're talking to could use a little help. Sometimes that person might be too embarrassed to ask. So if there's a way that you can help a friend or a neighbor that could be in some sort of a need, even if it's something as simple as baking an apple pie and just brightening up their day, fill an obvious need. So while we're focusing on family, for letter F, letter O, obvious ways to help someone. Doesn't have to be grandiose. Like I said, it could be like baking a pie or buying a pie or buying a cupcake that's adorable, something to that effect, some little thing, or walking their dog and saving them a trip, for example. Little things, or a trip to the grocery store, all that little stuff. But it adds up and it makes someone else's day. I'm just saying. Letter C from the word focus, develop a can do attitude. Okay. Can do. Oftentimes we say can't. Sometimes I think can't is more like won't. And that's its own show. Believe you me, we could talk about that in the future, the difference between a can't and a won't. Okay. But for now, with the word focus, develop a can do attitude. People tell themselves, oh, I can't make my bed every day. Yes, you can. And believe it or not, if you get into the habit of doing it right away, you will not go back to not doing it right away. Because once you get up and the first thing you do is, make your bed, okay, and then you have your coffee, right? You're like, wait a minute, I already made my bed and I'm having my coffee. I can relax knowing that the bed is already made. It is a good start, in my honest opinion. It gives you a sense of semblance. It just does. And ever notice how a made bed makes your whole room look a lot better, a lot bigger too? I'm just saying. All right, letter U from the word focus. You, we said, well, how about understanding? Understanding, and just be more patient with people, have a more patient, understanding attitude. I know sometimes it's really, really hard, but just imagine there might be a day that you yourself would appreciate that understanding. You see where I'm going with that? So believe you me, there are days I'm like, "Well, I don't want to have to understand this." But then I take a deep breath, I count to three, and I just know it's the right thing to do. Be a little more patient, a little more understanding, letter U. All right. And the final one, surprise, letter S. Letter S, the last word of the letter of the word focus. Surprise, surprise someone with the gift of your presence. And I don't necessarily mean presents. I mean your ability to be present. They may not physically be able to, let's say, go 3,000 miles away, but you certainly these days can tap, tap, and before you know it, you're in their living room on a video chat. This is what all this technology makes it so worthwhile. Remind people you care about them. Give them the gift of your presence and also a surprise. The surprise factor is wonderful. Whatever the surprise may be, could be a card, could be a letter, could be a little bottle of cologne or something adorable at the $1.25 store that maybe normally they wouldn't get for themselves. It just takes a little bit of a forethought. All right, so let's go on now to the feel good story. So I just heard this on the news. I remember the other day I asked the question. I said, "What happened to kindness?" And I said, "I know it's there." So I was 100% right. Okay. I always know it's there, but it's nice to hear that it's there. I love hearing the kindness stories. And if you have a kindness story to contribute in the comment section, let me know in the comment section below if you heard of anything that, of a kind act of some sort that either you received or you gave, you heard about. This one I heard about. I heard about this on the news. Perhaps other people have heard about it listening. And this had to do with a person that was on social media on another platform, for example. And this person heard of a 90-year-old veteran who was struggling. Get a load of this, a 90-year-old veteran struggling to support his wife's medical bills because she had dementia. Okay, and I think he was facing eviction, if I'm not mistaken. Whatever it was, the 90-year-old veteran was in dire need. Okay, and this lovely person on that other platform randomly raised, sitting or standing, and I wrote the number down because I couldn't believe it, a whopping $360,000 in the support of the veteran's wife's medical bills or whatever else he needs. Because from what I understood, the gentleman was facing eviction, a 90-year-old veteran. I mean, how wonderful, how freaking awesome is that? So I said, you know what? I just have to share this absolutely mind blowing, stunning, in a great way story. We need more of that. Okay. We need more of the feel good stories out there because there are too many, other stories out there. I'm just saying. So at this beginning of this academic year, okay, I have memories of when I was, an active teacher, if you will. This is the time of the year I'd go into my classroom, I would open it up, and I would start my decorating. I would like to have my little ducks in a row. We were permitted to re-enter our classrooms. The school gave us our keys on the 15th of August every year. This is the 19th, not the 19th, the 20th. So this is around the time I'd say, you know what, I think I'll pop into my classroom and check it out and just start putting the little bows and the ribbons on. And it was indeed a wonderful feeling. There's something wonderful about the beginning of an academic year, even if you're not in school, and even if your kids are well grown up and past the academic stage type thing. There are little things we could do at home, for example, that are reminiscent. For example, the stores that sell the school and office supplies, this is the time of the year to take full advantage of office supplies, notebooks, pens, pencils. I try to remind you guys every year. I don't know if you know that I do that. But I do remember reminding last year, probably the year before. But this is the time of the year to take advantage of the wonderful, wonderful sales. So I look at it this way. Why not? Well, thank you for focusing in on your time this afternoon. I really do appreciate every single one of you. Have an amazing, fantastic day. And if you have not smashed down the like button, please do so. Thank you so much.